wanted to quickly look back at the 2019 NBA draft, where the top 5 picks were Zion Williamson, Ja Morant, RJ Barrett, DeAndre Hunter, and Darius Garland. And I'm curious, given the start that we've seen from Ja Morant this season, given the continuing health issues, the potential uneasy situation in New Orleans with Zion, would you draft Zion and Ja in that same order right now?
Yeah.
Have we reached a tipping point where like Morant, because it was a legitimate question coming out of their rookie seasons, coming into this season, like Ja Morant has been good enough that you can make a realistic argument that he should be the top pick. And I'm curious if enough has happened to this point that you're willing to kind of switch there.
You mean flip-flop Ja for Zion?
Yeah, in a redraft now, would you take Ja Morant or Zion Williamson at number 1?
I would still
in a vacuum. Like, we're not saying that they're going to end up in New Orleans.
I would still take Zion, but I think we're probably coming closer to it being a discussion. The primary reason for me why would just be Zion's health.
Mm-hmm.
Because when he was on the court last year, he probably should, if he was played in more games, and even he might have just been a snub. He played like an all-NBA guy. So he feels like that automatic all-NBA type player. But it does, if you're going to factor in health specifically, and there's a chance that Ja gets better and his, starts hitting his threes more and even his mid-range game is more efficient. It feels like it's more of a discussion now than I think most people would have assumed it would be at the end of last season, even.
Yeah, I think I'm ready to make the switch, honestly. I still think Zion is just this generational talent, like an easy all-NBA inclusion when he's healthy and playing at full strength. He has the higher ceiling. And, if we're looking at it mathematically, like he's probably going to have a higher range of positive outcomes. But right now, I also think that he has a lot more lower outcomes. And I'm just, it's hard to read in, like, this is a good way to come out of the Ben Simmons discussion into this, because I think they're related to some extent. Like, it's hard to read into what exactly his mentality is. Like, we know that he has showed up to camp out of shape multiple times. We know that he had this foot injury and reportedly ballooned to over 300 pounds during the recovery process and didn't tell the team about it and does not look ready to play. We don't have a timetable for his return. And I keep getting these like later career Shaq vibes where he knew he was that good and could play himself into shape during the regular season. And that has to matter, I think. So like, peak Zion is still unbelievable, but given the importance of the point guard position in today's NBA, given the control of the offense we're seeing from Ja through just a few games during this now in progress campaign, like I think I'm ready to flip-flop them. But I do that fully cognizant of the risk, because if Zion is healthy, if Zion is motivated, that has the potential to look really bad.
Yeah, I think that's a spicy take, not an illegitimate one at this point. And where I would provide the pushback is how much of this is just, can he plead being 21 years old? And like, how in tune, I know you weren't a professional athlete, but how in tune were you with your diet and your body?
Oh, I'm still not.
How disciplined were you? But that's my point, is there's a chance, and I'm not saying the injuries, that could be related, it could be not related to it. How much are the Pelicans responsible here, if they're responsible at all, for just like are we viewing his injury situation differently if there was more transparency, would be my question to that. But you could fast forward. I can envision a scenario where as Zion grows and matures and is in better shape, like even if it maybe takes 3 or 4 years or something, we're talking about a generational guy. The flip side of that argument would be there are a lot of people that subscribe to the idea, because he's built so uniquely, even if Zion's in peak shape, like just looking at peak Shaq, that his prime could technically be shorter because of how much of an anomaly he is, in which case that is inherently going to make Ja Morant more appealing, because would you rather have, let's say, a decade of MVP caliber play or 12 to 13 years of second team All-NBA? I'm throwing scenarios.
Right. Yeah, and I think there is something to the idea that his frame is uniquely built and it is set up in a way that is going to lead to injuries, because he plays with so much force generated, and it's going to take a toll on the joints. It's going to take a toll on the feet, and his frame is not built to be under 280 pounds or whatever if he's going to play with the powerful style with which he operates. So to me, I'm kind of looking at it like, if we assume health, I still don't think that you're going to consistently get more than 65 to 70 games from Zion during an average season, even when he's fully functioning. And would you rather have 70 games of Zion or 80 games of Ja Morant? And I think that
that's a great way to
scales are kind of tipping towards the Morant side right now, because I don't even know if we're going to get 70.
Bookmark this take at Frommel09.
Again, I fully acknowledge just how poorly this could age, because Zion is a generational talent when he's able to operate. Like, once he started running the show and running pick and rolls this past season, like, it was transcendent. He was unbelievably good. You can make a legitimate case that he's going to push his way into the top 10 player conversation, but that precludes availability. And that has to matter.
I still think, like, I need to see how this season unfolds, probably. I still think we're just a scotch away from it being that far.
It's too early for this.
Like I said, I think the take is spicy, not illegitimate at this point.